The next one, the gorgeous one himself, Gorgeous George. And I'm sure everybody out there has heard of this veteran of, I mean, he was the first Wet George.
Well, wrestling fans or not, everyone's heard of Gorgeous George. And again, when we talked about Hans Schmidt being a journeyman wrestler, Gorgeous George, George Wagner, he was a journeyman for a few years, basically went nowhere, just kind of lackluster, didn't have anything special about him. But he got the idea. And you got to remember, back in the late 40s when someone did this, this was bizarre. George Wagner grew his hair longer, got permanents, bleached it blonde, and he would strut to the ring, and he would throw what he called Georgie pins. They were gold bobby pins to the ladies at ringside, and he'd bring roses to the ringside. And he had these long flowing robes. Fans today think that Ric Flair and some of the modern day wrestlers have created these outlandish looks. Gorgeous George was the first one. Right. And you know, Greg, they always say that imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Well, I think Gorgeous George was the trendsetter. And
was he the first one to valet?
He was. He had several valets through the years, and he would have his valet. He played the part in those days. If you again go back to the late 40s, early 50s, he played more the part of the sissy or the feminine type of wrestler. And he would come to the ring. He'd have his valet spray the ring to make sure that it was clean and not germs. There were no germs around the ring. And then he would take his time taking off that robe and irritate the heck out of the fans. Because, come on, let's just get the match. You know, his opponent is ready to go, the bell is ready to be sounded, and here's George taking his time folding the robe and taking the wrinkles out of it. And just, he used to irritate the fans so much. But he called himself the Toast of the Coast, and the fans loved him. He made a lot of money in his career, and Vern was one of his opponents, and in that particular match, Vern beat Gorgeous George.